Yes.
First of all, again, with liberty comes responsibility to
Yes.
what you're doing. Secondly, before this campaign is over, you'll look like that on your lid, and then some, because you were working very hard.
Thank you.
And something I have wondered about, and now I got an opportunity to ask, you talked about the debt and the deficit and all that. Don't other countries owe us money? And if so, what about the collection of it or not? Or how does that play into what you're talking about, or does it?
Do other countries owe us money? Yes, they do, but it's very unusual because we are more of a lender nation to the IMF. Many
county to the state.
Well, we give money to the international community, but we also give money to other countries through something that I'm thoroughly against. And this you can definitely put in a commercial, because I would love to hear it of my opponent, because I know my opponent supports giving away money to people willy-nilly, and I'll explain what it is. Well, besides that, they just love to spend money to win votes, and I believe it's our money. Here's where I'm thoroughly against internationally. I think charity first begins at home. We need to fix our country first. Number one, we have a department which has now been placed under this administration, has been placed under the State Department, and that department is called the USAID, the United States Agency for International Development. USAID spends our money willy-nilly, like crazy, internationally. We develop other countries and we spend money that we really have no concept what we're truly getting ourselves into. For example, one of the programs was started under a Republican president, Bush, and it's been continued and expanded under this administration and this Congress. It's called PEPFAR, Presidential Executive Program for AIDS Relief. I think it's AIDS Relief. I believe that's what the title is called, PEPFAR. And it's an African program to stop the spread of AIDS in Africa. Here's an interesting thing. In Kenya, we spend $493 million in Kenya under PEPFAR last year. Most of that money went to buy condoms. Because this is an adult crowd, let me tell you, went to buy condoms. And most of that money also went to buy or to hire individuals to go out into communities to pass out condoms. I literally saw our taxpayer dollars being wasted by hiring groups to go into the Somali regions of Kenya, which is the northeast region, the more Muslim areas, where they were passing out condoms, and these people were laughing at us. They were laughing at us. And we're spending money willy-nilly. For $493 million, you could buy a lot of other things. But we spent $15 billion in Africa under that program, and now up to $20 billion or thereabouts. Don't quote me on the exact number, but I know it has increased. And there's a great book out. It's called Dead Aid. And it talks about foreign aid. Foreign aid does not work. It doesn't work. And the worst part about this is we have a program that we are involved with, and it's called the Refugee Assistance Program. The Refugee Assistance Program is part of UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. We bring about 600,000 refugees to the United States, as quoted on the Frank Beckman program, a WJR, or you can jump on Google and punch in the Refugee Assistance Program, and it will tell you that we bring refugees to the United States. These are, most of them do not speak English, they have no skill, and they fall under assistance programs, to include being paid an allotment every year, a subsistence allotment, and being taught English as a second language. And they're brought in to merge into the United States system, or way of life. We have problems with illegal immigration. We have problems with legal immigration under the Refugee Assistance Program, and we're doing nothing about it. We're opening up our borders willy-nilly. We're spending money with USAID and foreign infusions of cash, but yet we're borrowing from China every single year. I know China is the focus because now they are our largest debtor, but China, we're borrowing from China to give to others. And it's ridiculous, and it has to stop. It has to stop. The best way to stop it is by restraining, basically bringing back the amount of money that we spend on programs that we shouldn't be getting involved in. I also, by the way, by the way, this may sound a little shocking, but I'm also a fan of reducing some of the money that we spend in the Department of Defense, because our Department of Defense is now fighting wars. We're nation building. We're nation building. We nation built under Bush. We nation build under Obama. We spend more money doing civil military operations, nation building, than we do fighting the war. And this is your money that we are spending. This is money that should be spent in the United States or paying down the debt so that our children can have a bright future. Did I answer your question on the most part?